Look, I get it. Like, there's no reason why I should be talking to this topic. I've personally never done this, but the beautiful thing is that I've actually helped people on the topic of retiring in New Mexico. So I feel like I know a thing or two when it comes down to this whole thing. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the top areas and things you should know when it comes down to retiring here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So hang tight, grab your pen and your pad, because it's about to get fun. What's going on, guys? As far as you can see, we're in my bedroom and we've got an update since the last time you've seen this bedroom. We hired our interior designer that's on our team to come and hook this place up. And I mean, this room is dope. Like, it's all like, it's a vibe. Like, I wish you can totally see everything that we got going on here. It's totally transformed this room, everything that we've added. But anyways, guys, you're not here to talk about my bedroom. You're here to talk about retiring in Albuquerque, New Mexico, the things you should be looking out for, what do taxes look like, why I should even consider, or why you should even consider moving to Albuquerque, New Mexico if you're looking to retire. And we're gonna get into the details of that in today's video. And if this is your first time tuning into the Living in Albuquerque channel, guys, welcome. My name is Eli. Go ahead and hit that subscribe and notification bell down at the bottom, somewhere along here. That way you guys never miss out on any kind of video, because I am dropping videos talking about what this beautiful place of New Mexico has to offer. And as much as I love doing these videos, I would love to also help you out with your real estate needs, and me and my team are ready to hop on a quick Zoom call with you guys to talk about all this and what it's gonna take to get you down here. And that number popping up on the screen is my direct line. Feel free to call or text me at any time. Now, you're probably thinking, what does this young cat know about retiring and how can he help me? Well, truth of the matter is that a big portion of our clientele is that people that are looking to retire in New Mexico to call this place their forever home. Believe it or not, a ton of people are hitting us up. I'm talking about like people from Puerto Rico, Brazil, Dallas, Los Angeles. We're helping a lady move from Los Angeles, and she has a house right next to the SoFi Stadium. She's moving herself and her daughters down to New Mexico to retire because she's tired of the fast-paced life. She wants to be able to enjoy, I guess you would call it, her second half of her journey on this earth. A little bit more peace, a little bit more of a slower pace, the ability to enjoy the outdoors with her family and her grandkids. Like, it's a beautiful story, right? And I hear this many, many times. So what is the main reason more people are moving down here? Well, isn't it obvious? The cost of living is way lower here than Dallas, Los Angeles, Denver. I mean, you name it. Albuquerque, New Mexico, even though we're the largest city in the state, we still have a lower cost of living than some of these other major cities when it comes down to the comparison. Now you're talking about purchasing a house anywhere from $280,000 to about $400,000, like, and that's sometimes even brand new. In comparison, yeah, you're gonna save a ton of money and that retirement's gonna stretch. A lot of people are selling their houses in these major cities and buying a house cash here because it just makes sense. Like, to sell that house, buy a house cash here, no mortgage, and still have a ton of money left over, like, it just makes sense, guys. And that's why a lot of people are doing it. Because who doesn't want to make that retirement stretch? Like, you've worked hard for 20, 30 years, some people 40, to see it diminish because you're just trying to keep the lights on sucks. Like, let's just be honest. Here in New Mexico, I can tell you that the cost of utilities is super low. You're gonna save money on taxes, and we're gonna go over that on different things that go on with taxes at a retirement age. I'm not gonna say a specific number because if you're able to retire, I gotta be careful with this because my friend Danny, he's gonna be in his 40s when he retires from the city here in Albuquerque, but he worked for the city since he was like 15. So I'm not gonna be anywhere ready to retire at the age of 40. So we're gonna still probably be making videos, guys. So you're gonna have to bear with me and hang out for a little bit. But yeah, utilities are way lower here, houses are cheaper, cost of living is way lower because to have fun here, especially at a retirement age, you're not looking to do all these crazy things and spend all this money to just kind of keep up. You really don't care about that. You can go in for a hike, access to the outdoors. Gyms are a plethora here and they're super affordable. Even with the healthcare system that we got here, they make it way more affordable for the people in their retirement ages. So if you're worried about spending your money and watching it all diminish away living in a bigger city, you might want to consider moving down to Albuquerque. I told you guys that I was going to bring up the conversation on taxes. Now, I don't want to get into super specifics because this is not financial advice. I recommend that you talk with that professional before you move down here. That way, you know the differences in comparison to where you're living versus living here in New Mexico. But just to kind of overall generally look at this thing, I got some notes here because again, I'm not a data-driven person. I'm more of like an experienced person. I give you this knowledge because I know it firsthand. And honestly, I'm not at that retirement age. So me paying taxes, it's like, I don't even think about that because right now it's like I have to pay them. They're not going anywhere. There's two things promised in this world, right? And I think you guys know the adage if you're watching this, right? So with living in New Mexico, there is some cool things about taxes. Now, we are the 17th when it comes to the map with taxes that are the lowest in the country. Now, 17 isn't like the greatest thing to be like hurrahing or like clapping about, but still, when it comes down to living in Dallas and all these other places, I keep bringing up Dallas. I think it's just because it's one of the easier ones for me to say, and we have a lot of people relocating from there. So in hindsight, guys, Florida, Dallas, all these other places, taxes are gonna be lower. Again, get with your financial advisor just to make sure that it's gonna work out for you in your best benefit. Now, so Social Security here isn't taxed as high as some other places. Retirees can deduct about $8,000 to their income in most cases. And this one's cool because we do have a big military community here. If you are a veteran and at a certain number, you are tax exempt. That's right. You don't gotta give Uncle Sam any more than you already have, right? If you signed up for the military, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You already gave up a lot when you put your name on that contract and did what you had to do, and we thank you for your service. We have a lot of clients that are moving down here because they are gonna go work at the military base. They are gonna go work at Kirkland. Whatever it is that they're gonna do on that base, they're coming down and seeing this here, and they're gonna retire in a couple of years. They're like, man, I can't wait. So pretty cool things there when it comes down to the whole tax thing, guys. And if you're 65 and over and you got disabilities, you got some great incentives. Again, I'm not gonna go into the specifics of it because this isn't financial advice. This is just me kind of giving you a general overlook, and you can do this research yourself, or you can get with that tax professional to help you out with that. Look, I know the retirement age, you just wanna chill. You don't want any noise. You wanna be able to hang out without the neighbors being crazy and, you know, all that stuff. Well, there's a few areas that I recommend just based off of the neighborhoods that these people that are retiring here that are looking into. And the first one is Ventana Ranch. Now, in Ventana Ranch, you can find a house for $350,000 all day. Cool thing about Ventana Ranch is that it's kind of suburban, so you're gonna have families and kids and all that stuff. But for the majority, it's way out on the west side, so there's like no big commercial areas. There's not a lot of like people traveling over there unless they live there kind of thing. So you are gonna get that peace and quiet. And plus, it's so close to the mesa that at night you can see the stars because there's not a whole lot of city lights and all that stuff. So that's pretty cool. The next area is gonna be the North Valley. Why the North Valley? Well, price point, right? Not everybody can afford to live in the North Valley, especially if you're talking about like Los Ranchos or anywhere on Rio Grande, because those price tags can get a little bit over $500,000. And nothing to brag about, some of those houses are a little bit older. And if you're in that retirement age, you appreciate that type of architecture. And sometimes you're just not afraid to get your hands dirty, renovate, update, all that stuff, just because you understand as a homeowner, you're probably a homeowner now, houses like this and these types of areas, especially with everything that it has to offer because the North Valley feels disconnected from the city, you are willing to pay for that. The next one, and this one's kind of like a new community. If you wanted a brand new house and you're okay with paying close to about $500,000, some cases you can pay $450,000, just all depending on what part of this neighborhood you're trying to live in. Mesa del Sol. Now here's the caveat with Mesa del Sol. It's kind of like a one-way in, one-way out, but it's so far southeast, it's kind of like its own little city. And I say it's kind of like its own little city because it has a grocery store, a coffee shop, a cafe, a church, a gym, everything that you could possibly want and need for your daily like things. It's right down the street. You could ride your bike, you can walk there. They got parks super close to the amphitheater, so if you enjoy concerts, you can go there, and plus they have walking trails galore. So those are some of the top areas. There's plenty more, and if you're wondering about any other area or you want to go into these areas specifically, we can hop on a quick Zoom call. Again, that number popping up on the screen is my direct line. Feel free to reach out. Now, we all know that once you get to this age, you're worried about your health. Like, health is important. You realize like that's probably like the most important thing overall, you know, when it comes down to anywhere that you live. So how does living in Albuquerque add to that? What is the value in living here in Albuquerque? Well, there's a few things, right? The whole lifestyle here is like slow paced. Land of mañana for sure. A lot of people don't like it, but I can tell you this, that when you're retired and you just want to kind of hang out and chill and you don't want the big city life, New Mexico and Albuquerque is going to be the thing, right? Because we have everything that you could possibly want and need here for convenience, right? You want to go to Costco, Sam's Club, small markets, small mom and pop shops, big box stores, we have it all here. Like anything a big city has, we do have it here. In terms of lifestyle, well, it's pretty easy to stay healthy and active here. Number one, our climate is bar none, probably some of the best in all of the country. It doesn't get too hot and it doesn't get too cold here. We do have a monsoon season. We do experience all four seasons. In general, we do get 300 plus sunny days here in Albuquerque. Now, we're in the middle of monsoon season, so the rain is like touch and go. Overall, guys, it's pretty predictable. And a lot of people that are in this retirement phase of their life, they want to get outside, they want to go hike, they want to go garden, they want to go enjoy the environment around them without having to worry about trails being overpopulated, just a bunch of stuff going on. They want to go to Old Town and just hang out, have a nice glass of wine. Like those are the things that you're looking forward to when you retire, right? Really enjoying your life because you spent more than half of your life working. And now that you're kind of have some more time on your hands, you want to spend that time really taking care of yourself. You know, you want to go to the gym, and we have so many gyms here, like local big box stores, franchise owned gyms, I guess the big box gyms. Basically, go around the corner, go down the street, and you're going to be able to find a gym pretty easily. Now, the healthcare and all that stuff here helps with that. They understand that health is super important here, and a lot of New Mexicans take their health into consideration. Now, I have to apologize because the food is super good here, so you're gonna eat pretty well, and you're gonna have a plethora of choices to choose from. So if you're a foodie, you're gonna have the option to go to any restaurant and pretty much eat pretty clean on most parts, especially if the place is locally owned and is small mom and pop. So you're gonna be able to get some good ingredients, some good food, all without having to worry about all this processed stuff and just a bunch of junk going into your system. Overall, guys, the abundance of nature, the abundance of trails, the mild climate, like all of that adds to it. I know a ton of people that are leaving like Seattle and New York, these gloomy areas, because they want the sun. Like they tell me like, it's so sad here. And when I traveled to New Mexico, everything changed. Like my mood was better, just being able to see the sun, getting outside to enjoy the sun. Like I miss that, I want that, I need that. And that might be you, I don't know. But whatever it is, guys, we can also talk about that over our Zoom call, and I can tell you some of the things that I personally do, and I'm nowhere near retirement, but as a person that lives an active lifestyle, just living here in New Mexico versus me living in New York, my life changed drastically, and I can say that living here, I live a healthier life than I did in that big city. Alrighty, you got my 2 cents on this whole question of, is Albuquerque a great place to retire? What does it have to offer? I mean, I think you can kind of connect the dots and pretty much make your own assumptions that it's a pretty good bet. Now, you're gonna have lower cost of living, you're gonna be able to purchase a house at a reasonable price, you're gonna have some tax benefits, and plus your overall lifestyle is gonna increase and get better. Not saying that you're probably living a crappy lifestyle right now wherever you're at, but just know that these things add to the value of life. And anybody that I have a conversation with when it comes down to retiring and what's gonna best benefit their life, aside from the money, it always comes down to their mental health, their physical health, their spiritual health, and all of that is present here in New Mexico. Like I wish I can tell you like a list of things. It's super hard to do because Albuquerque is an experience. Even though you might see all these negative things online, and honestly, half of those things ain't even true and they're all outdated. You really gotta come down here to experience it. Now, I'm not saying that it's perfect by any means, because like any other city, we have our downfalls. Overall, guys, great choice. I highly recommend you look into it. I highly recommend that you reach out to that number popping up on the screen, because we can go over all this on a quick Zoom call, figure out your price points, and then I can show you exactly what you can afford when it comes down to living here in Albuquerque. I'm gonna go and have dinner. It is taco burger night. And if you guys haven't had Bob's Burgers or Julian's Burgers, I highly recommend that you guys try it out when you come down here. It's one of our family favorites. It's been one of my favorites, you know, the whole time that I've lived here in New Mexico, born and raised, so it's a staple. I'm gonna go and eat. I hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.